I was called 3 years ago, prior to the train leaving Montreal, and asked if I would consider being an ambassador.
Through Tom, we realized that he had been running the Huron Carol on a very similar focus to what the Holiday Train does. And for those who may not know, the Huron Carol is a benefit concert series where Tom and his musical friends put on concerts and raise money for food banks. So we decided to join forces.
And everybody everywhere is doing the best they can.
I just simply suggested that if they were going to have me on board, perhaps they would like me to sing, or I was being presumptuous, I think, you know. I don't even know if they knew I was a singer. I was on the Huron Carol at the time that this took place, and Beverley Mahood said that she wasn't doing anything up till Christmas and asked if I would mind if she joined me on this train. And I said, well, let me ask the powers that be, and they were very, very anxious to have her on the train as well.
Everybody, I'm Beverley, and I'm very, very proud to be a part of this year's Holiday Train. Very proud to be a part of Tom Jackson's dream and CPR's drive to end hunger in this country.
I think the main link that I see between the Huron Carol and the Holiday Train is just the passion and the team spirit, that everybody involved is here for one thing, and that is to help the needy and help the hungry.
Guys, for coming out and supporting your food bank tonight.
The whole objective of the Holiday Train is to generate food and cash contributions for the food bank in your local community.
Ready to rock a little bit this Christmas? Let me hear you say yeah! Somebody scream over there!
Hello, Leslie, how are you doing tonight?
This is our third year. We're going to 75 different communities across the country, about 6,000 miles.
It is a pleasure to be here in Moose Jaw.
Hello, Sister, how you doing tonight?
Get your paper and a pen and write your Christmas letter to St. Nick. Send it to the North Pole, to his workshop in the snow. You put his hands to work it all in quick. These songs.
We all kind of stand there and put on our beautiful HPC coats, which keep us very warm. Preparation is always just being aware of, you know, who's in that town, have we been here before. Our biggest thing is always looking and seeing if we can see, you know, how big the crowd is before we get out there. That's, to me, I'm always excited about that.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Our troubles can be miles away.
We probably try and do our job 365 days a year, public relations-wise.
There was a spirit about the Huron Carol that traveled onto this train. People know Tom Jackson. They know what he's here for. I was in the mall the other day, you know, my one day off, 4 hours that I had, and I had to do some Christmas shopping. And I was just approached by a man, and he just came up and said, you know, I commend you for what you're doing. And I'm just sitting there going like, what? What am I doing? But he goes, you know, what you're doing for people. That, you know, you're feeding people. I really commend you for that. And that's touching, to be remembered for doing something more than just your music. To be remembered as helping people, I think that's, I don't know, Tom Jackson has a way of just being an amazing man for the many people that he touches and helps.
There's why this jubilee, why your joy is strange world. Let the gladsome tidings be, purchased by your heavenly Son.
stage, you know, you're farther away, everybody's sitting in seats, and most of the time the kids aren't in the front row. When you're on the train, it's like their biggest thing to see this train, and they just love to see the sight of it, and especially then when Santa comes out. And when the kids are in the front row and they just kind of want to touch your hand and stuff, that's pretty amazing.
Okay, here's a camera over there. They got to see your beautiful face.
Hi there.
She's looking at me. I'm going, I'm the lucky one, but here we go.
I'll walk around with it.
Here we are.
My first tour, I had a little portable recording studio that I brought with me. And it wasn't one day on the train sitting there and all of a sudden there's like, and I'm thinking, on the holiday train, on the holiday train. Yeah, this is working. So I started the holiday train.
We're on the holiday train,
Holiday train.
bringing Merry Christmas to your hometown. Yeah.
I went and woke Dwayne up. Dwayne, come and help me with this chorus, man. I need some help. So we burnt down a verse and got the chorus going and sat and sang it for a whole bunch of the CP folks and said, as I said, you know, it was like, this is a gift for you guys. I feel so, you know, so much gratitude for even letting me experience this here. Take this song and do something with it, whatever you want. And then Tom joined up on the train. And I said, Tom, I need a second verse. And that was it. Tom jumped onto it and wrote the second verse.
Sing a song so tender and mild, dry the tears of a hungry child. Steel wheels roll into the night, a new day dawning, feels so right on the holiday train.
Throughout the Huron Carol, you know, you meet people that come over and say, you know, I use the food bank, so thank you so much. And that touches you because you know that you're doing something, and people, you are touching people. But the other night, this little girl named Brittany came over and was giving me a hug, and she goes, you know what, Beverly? And I said, what? And she goes, I use the food bank. And that, I can't tell you the feeling you get from knowing that when I go home for my Christmas, I've actually helped some kid out.
Have yourself.
I'm involved with kids throughout the year with juvenile diabetes. And just love seeing kids benefit from something so simple as me just getting on a stage and singing. And that's the biggest thing for me. It's a reward.
You know, people sometimes think that, you know, we're making a difference in their lives, but really it's them doing it to us. Sometimes more, definitely more.
There's over 800,000 Canadians that go to bed hungry every day. They use the food banks regularly, and you know what? 40% of those people are kids. And the others are made up of working families that are trying hard to make it in a real tough economy.